Mr. Gupta, how do you convince others to join you in your team?
It's of course a different world now. When I was becoming an entrepreneur, you needed a lot of convincing to be done, because at that time the middle class ambitions were to become an engineer, doctor, join a multinational and so on, and it was not really that you became an entrepreneur. Today that scenario has changed. You need less of convincing because there are enough role models that have appeared. But yes, even then, there are issues with families, and therefore you need to have good mentors who can talk to the elders and convince them and so on. But ultimately you have to have a passion, and if you have the passion for the idea, you will go ahead and live your dreams.
After you get started, where do you get new ideas?
So let me share my own story there. I'm talking about 1981, a completely different kind of era as far as entrepreneurship is concerned, because entrepreneurship was not the done thing. So I was a young guy sitting with some friends, and we were having a few drinks, and one of the girls sitting there started talking about animal husbandry. And she said that there should be a newsletter. She was with UNICEF, so there should be a newsletter which educates people about that. And so I actually did a back of the envelope calculation. And then at the end of that calculation, I said that, hey, how about a media property in the area of computers, because I think computers are very exciting. And so, a couple of the people around, they said, yeah, sounds like a good idea. Will you put your money? I said, yeah, sure, I'll put my money. And that's how CyberMedia and DataQuest started. Point I'm trying to make is that ideas are available in the ether. Okay. In that room, there were a number of people who were sitting. None of the other people started a B2B publication. I'm the person who started that. So ideas are there. You need to ideate with the peers. You need to do sufficient amount of reading. You also need to look at your own heart. What is attractive to you? What is passionate for your likes and dislikes?
Okay. In the beginning, how do you select your co-founders to start the company?
Yeah, so there is safety in numbers, and that is why people first look at their own network. So your college buddies, your company buddies, that's the kind of a network that you will initially look at. You should go for complementary skills, not the same skills. And if you can do that, then you have a good team going.
Is a mentor important?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely essential. You need those guides. Our own mythology has the example of Krishna being just a mentor and not raising his own arms, or not even using his own army, right? The role of the mentor is something which is very, very important. So every Arjuna needs a Krishna.
Who makes a good mentor? What qualities they have?
Yeah, so again, taking the same example, you need to be a Krishna. That means that it's not that you're using your arms or your army. You are giving advice. You're giving the right strategic advice at the right time to ensure that the task which has to be done is done.
And how should the mentor feel part of the team? Should they be compensated, or how do you figure out what will keep them interested in the idea that this entrepreneur has?
Yeah, so if the entrepreneur finds that the mentor is adding value, then it will be in his own interest to give some equity to the mentor. A lot of people do not become mentors with the primary purpose of earning that equity. Okay, I've mentored a number of companies, but some of those companies, when they've felt that yes, there is a value add that is coming in, would say, why don't you get closely associated? Why don't you take a little bit of equity also in the company?
How do you really know your customer? Not just outside, but inside their minds.
Yeah, so you need to do some market research in the segment that you're operating. Talk to a whole lot of people. If it's a completely new idea, do consult experts in those areas, and then go by your own gut feeling. So those are some of the initial things that you need to do. And then, in terms of customers, by the time your product is there, you better know who your customers are, right? If not, then, ultimately, whose pain are you trying to solve? Who are you actually making this product for? So once you know, then you need to get the first few people. And, I'm a firm believer there are enough people in this world, in large companies, who are willing to bet on the newcomer, who love startups and are willing to take their chance with them.
In now looking at your company, CyberMedia, what are some trends in the publication industry?
So, after 30 years, I'm again sort of, feeling that what I was doing as an entrepreneur in the early days, I literally have to do the same thing again now. Why? Because the entire business model in media is changing dramatically. There are multiple devices, there are multiple delivery platforms. Content is now moving seamlessly across different kind of media formats. So it's a completely new world out there. Some of the lessons of the past are no longer applicable as far as this new world is concerned. So, our distribution models in our business are changing, the technology is changing, the way content is looked at is changing. Entire thing is metamorphosing right now.
And if you look at youth that have low confidence, and many of them may not be entrepreneurs in the making, what do you tell them and how they can become more driven to succeed?
Well, there are a number of role models that are today there. Every 5 years produces a new set of role models. Currently you can see a lot of them coming in the mobile platform. You can see them coming up in internet, e-commerce, energy. You look at any different area and you find that there are role models available.